Good morning. It's Anand here from Osho Ireland again, and we're up to the 37th technique in the Osho Book of Secrets. And in this meditation, we're now moving on to sounds, okay? And I've been practicing this particular meditation all week, and it's going to be a bit longer than I normally hold because there are many parts to this particular technique. And if you're like me, a sound orientated person, you might find this technique really powerful. So I'm going to read the instructions first in this 37th technique. Devi, imagine the Sanskrit letters in these honey-filled foci of awareness. First as letters, then more subtly as sounds, then as most subtle feeling, then leaving them aside, be free. Now in the particular week I've done this, I could do the first parts until I got to the subtle feelings. I haven't got to this part where I could leave them aside yet. So I feel that this technique, in my own experience of this technique, it could take some time for that to happen. Now, what I'm going to do is just share with you Osho's thoughts on this. And there's a lot he says. If you can get the Book of Secrets and read this, this is a really powerful passage. Words are sounds, Osho says. Thoughts are words in sequence, in logical sequence, in a particular pattern. Sound is basic. With sound, words are created, and then with words, thoughts are created. And then with thoughts, religion and philosophy, everything, deep down, is the sound. And he goes on to talk about how these thoughts, ideologies, philosophies, religions are all built upon words that we all agree means the same thing in our particular language. And that often we will fight each other for these words. When I was reading this, it made me think about the way people a lot on the internet today will fight each other about a particular issue. And it's about words, or way back in the religious wars, Christians fought Muslims, and it's all over words. And I would I'd invite you to really think about, what do words do to you? Someone says a word and you're ready to kill them for it. You will fight them over something, and it's a word. So I really want you to think about this. And this technique really breaks down all of this. So the first thing is to question the words. And that's what Osho talks about. And he says, this sutra says to go in the reverse order. Go backwards. Come to the sounds. Then more basic than sounds, a feeling is hidden somewhere. So the first part of this technique is to think of the letters. So my letters are the English alphabet, A, B, C, D, E. Think of those. In your own language, if you don't use the A, B, C, maybe you use Cyrillic, maybe you use other languages, Sanskrit or Hindu or whatever. Think of those letters, visualize the letters. So in my case, I'm visualizing A. Or I'm going to visualize A. I'm going to visualize B. And then, when you visualize the letters, hear the letters, the sounds. What does A sound like? What does B sound like? Internally, hear the sound of A. Hear the sound of B. What does it sound like? And then, I found that when I repeated A sensation arose in my body. And A had a feeling. This it had a sound and a resonance and a feeling in my body. And I found that the letters had different feelings in my body. So play with these letters, the sounds. So starting with visualizing the letters, hearing the letter, what they sound like a child who's never heard these before. And then what's the feeling? And as I said, I never got to the last part that I drop the feeling. But eventually, if you practice with this technique, maybe the feeling will drop and then something happens. You come to your center. Now, Osho wrote a lot about this, so I'm just going to, I won't be able to read any more from it because it's going to be a long technique. So again, what I'm going to invite you to do with me now is to close your eyes, get comfortable, visualize the letters of your particular alphabet. And what's fascinating to me is that in different nationalities, let's say we all have the A, B, C, D, we might pronounce them differently, you know? Like, that fascinates me as well. So however you sound or however you say your alphabet, look at the words, hear the sounds. So look at the letters, hear the letters, then feel the letters. Okay, so the meditation will end when I hit 3 bells. I don't know what to say. Throughout these 112 meditative techniques, Osho says one will click with you. And this technique clicks with me. It's my ego was I was so attached to words. They meant everything to me. And it's just breaking it all down. But I also feel that when you break down the words, you break down thoughts, and then that brings you to this space of I know that this technique for me is the one that will open the door for me. If that makes sense to anybody watching this. And I always cry after this technique. It's a very beautiful technique if you're... Because Osho talks about, the sounds are here, and above sounds is words and thoughts, and below the sounds is feelings. And there's so much feeling in the sound underneath. And it opens up this potentiality, this something way beyond. And so this may not be your technique, but it is mine, and it really clicks. So when you get a response like this to a technique, this is the one for you. It's the one for you to keep trying for, or working with, for however long you need to work with it. So thank you for joining me, and next week I'll be sharing the 38th technique from the Osho Book of Secrets at 11. Bye-bye.